Hi guys, it's Anna here from #Content Agency and Transition Strategist, and there's a lot of information out there at the moment on what to do in this special time that we're living in, and so I wanted to jump in and give you some practical advice, because this week we have seen a total change worldwide. We have watched in China over Spring Festival, and now it's our turn to be affected with this. And we here in Croatia, we've been in lockdown now for 10 days, but it's given us a great time to refocus and brainstorm on what we can do right now to keep our business running and growing. And 4 words have stood out to us throughout what we've been listening to from business coaches, our mentors and friends, and those 3 words are plan, pivot and profit or protect. And so I wanted first off to provide practical assistance to you and share with you some of our best strategies and tips and how we're approaching the situation to keep our business up and running and maintain our sanity through it all. So over the next 2 weeks I'd like to share with you some tips here in this group and on YouTube. Now, our number one concern at the moment, and I'm sure yours is too, is around money. Because most of us these days live from pay packet to pay packet, or we're sole traders and we're reliant on jobs for our income. And right now, many of us have no jobs there on the books. So where do we start? Well, we started when we first went into quarantine 10 days ago. We started with our outgoings, and I've done this many times before over the 25 years I've been in business, because it's a great place to start to get really, really clear on what's actually happening in your world. Where is your money going? How much money do you need to actually survive? With no money coming in, it's essential that you know your money situation, and that means both personally and in business. So just step by step, and I want to read this to you because I want to keep it really clear for you. I want you first to go out and create a list, whether it's by hand or a spreadsheet, and I want you to include all of your outgoings, business and personal. Create headings up the top of your list or your spreadsheet on which credit card it comes from, who it's to, what it's for, what your payment currency is, and we'll talk about that in a minute, what your payment local currency is, your payment date, your period, monthly or annually, your renewal date, and whether it's for personal or business. They're the top headings. And then you get out your bank statement, you get out your credit card statements for the past year, and you go through it and write down all of your outgoings. Now here, don't get caught in any judgment. Just write them down, it doesn't matter, and fill out each area for each payment. If you need to add fields so it makes sense to you. Now I write down all of the details for my reference whenever I do this, because I like to have all the information in one place if I need to revisit it at any future time. The price, I put the payment currency as well as local currency on my credit card, because many of the apps we're using aren't local. We have one that's Singapore dollars, that's around $15 Singapore dollars, and at the time it was about 20 New Zealand dollars. Exchange rates are changing and will continue to change. So keep track of what's happening and what's going up and what's going down when it comes to your outgoings. Once you've done that, I want you to just take a moment, step back, go for a walk, whatever it is, and look at what you've entered or what you've written. Do you have everything down? You've got to include everything. Because often it's a great time to find those payments you've forgotten, or maybe you've signed up for something and forgotten about it, and it comes around next year without you even knowing. It gets revisited and more money comes out of your credit card. So it's time to really look and get these recurring payments sorted for you. We heard of one coach that thought he had about 5 or 10 payments coming out of his credit card for apps and programs, and yet when he actually sat down and did this, he had like over 40 outgoings from his credit card and bank statements. So it really opened up his mind to what was actually happening. So you may need to just do this, even if it's just to find out what's happening on your credit card and bank statement. Now once you've done this, then you want to sit back down and you want to think of 3 things. Is each payment necessary, not necessary but nice to have, or not necessary? That's it. 3 statements, and you work through them and you tick totally necessary, like this, want to have it, not really necessary, or not necessary at all. And then guess what? You go through them and you cancel. And you create a list of what you can cancel now, depending on where you are in the period of your renewal, or you make a date and you say you're going to cancel it before that next renewal so you don't get hit with any more expenses. This is just one exercise we did last week, and we were able to combine our Dropbox files and save money. We made an executive decision to cancel 2 or 3 programs that we were using because they weren't necessary, and then we've diaried the dates of when we want to cancel programs that are going to be coming up over the next month, when we can make most use of it, and then cancel it so we don't get hit with another payment. I think we saved about $300 in monthly payments. And as a result of even just doing this one exercise, we were then able to restructure our phones and Wi-Fi and actually get a way better deal, especially at this time when we need better internet connection, for the same price that we did previously. So this is the best thing I say, or the best place I say to start. The other thing is that other companies may be offering specials for programs now, or change things to free programs if you can, instead of paying money for them. There's so many different things you can do once you know what outgoings you've got and where your money is going. Now I'm going to give you a spreadsheet at the bottom of this that's going to give you these different areas I've talked about in this training, and then go for it. Get it done. Don't sit for hours, just sit down. Give yourself 1 hour and get this done with your bank statements, your credit card statements, and that's all you really need. And please let me know if this is helpful for you. I really want to give you practical ideas of how we can keep our businesses running, not just running but growing throughout this next period.